So we are honoured to be back here again, honoured to be in such a Vajrayana kingdom and amongst such esteemed company. I'm not going to go through the list of everyone who's here because it might take up too much of my time, but we're very grateful to be in the company of all of you. I'm going to be doing the talking today, but I would actually first of all like to introduce my teacher, Naljorpa Dorje.
And I like to introduce my teacher, Ngakma Mé-tsal Wangmo.
Thank you. So although I'm going to be doing the talking, Jagya is available for questions as well. You'll probably get better answers out of him, so I suggest going that way. I'm going to be bigging up the Dakas a little bit in this talk after what we've just listened to. It's been fantastic, but we're going to be talking about couples practicing Vajrayana. So for the continuance of Vajrayana in the Trans-Himalayas and in the West, it needs to address the life circumstances and the situations of practitioners for whom monasticism is not viable. Practitioners as marital partners and as parents require a supportive religious context in which family life is inspired by kindness, openness, and enthusiasm for life. Parents who exhibit great mutual respect and appreciation for each other are crucial for the well-being of children. Psychologically and spiritually robust children mature into healthy adults, and those are the ones best equipped to create a peaceful, harmonious world. Vajrayana offers teachings on relationship and on romance as spiritual practice, but these teachings are rare. Their rarity, however, is not due to romance being solely within the domain of delusion, but that Vajra romance has no application in monasticism. These teachings do, however, have much to offer the non-monastic Sangha and the laity in terms of supporting cheerful, creative, committed relationships. But these teachings particularly have direct application. That's not actually the right image. It's a nice image, but it's not the right one. That's better. These teachings are particularly applicable to the non-celibate vow-holding practitioners, such as the Ngak'chang, the white-skirted, long-haired Sangha. Some of you were forced to listen to me talking about them last year or the year before. For these practitioners, the teachings on romantic love provide a powerful key not only to better relationships, but crucially to realization of the non-dual state. The existence of Yabgyum imagery makes it clear that Vajrayana is sexual. The sexuality expressed, however, is essentially the coital union of wisdom and compassion, as the efflorescence of emptiness and form. But there are also the sexual practices. These sexual practices, however, have two forms. There is Kama Mudra, Lekicagya, and Dorje Dungsem. Dorje Dungsem, the practice of Vajra romance, involves perceiving the non-dual nature of one's romantic partner. This is, in fact, a prerequisite for the practice of Kama Mudra, and yet there are few outside the Mahasiddha traditions who will be familiar with the term Dorje Dungsem, let alone the teachings of Vajra romance. As Vajra romance is a reflection of the indivisibility of emptiness and form, it shouldn't be surprising to discover that glimpses of non-duality can, in fact, be experienced through Vajra romance more readily than through formal meditation. Despite the scarcity of teachings on Vajra romance, there have been a few notable historical proponents of the practice. From the Indian traditions, we have the Mahasiddhas Saraha and Dombipa. And from the Tibetan tradition, we have the 6th Dalai Lama, whose romantic poetry is well known. More recently, as published by the academic researchers Holly Gailey and Sarah Jacobi, we have the biographies of 2 great Teton couples. Sarah Jacobi recounts the life of Sera Khandro in her book Love and Liberation, and Holly Gailey in her book Love Letters from Golok recounts the life of Khandro Tare Lamo. Women, as has been mentioned already this afternoon, have received little hagiographic recognition in Vajrayana until recently, apart from Yeshit Sogyal, Machik Labdran, Jomo Memmo. Hagiographies have concentrated on male Tetons, but the roles of their female consorts are often absent and frequently not named. This has particularly been the case since the second spread of Buddhism. Mention of women becomes slightly more prominent in contemporary times. Gailey and Jacobi's books highlight the importance of female practitioners as Tetons, treasure revealers, and also the importance of consort relationship as a practice necessary for the discovery and subsequent dissemination of Terma. In both the biographies of Sera Khandro and also of Tare Lamo, it is evident that they practiced Vajra romance with their respective consorts, Drime Ozer and Namtrul Rinpoche. They were equal partners whose letters to each other were replete with warmly expressed affection and sincere commitment. Their relationships mutually enhanced their spiritual realization, thereby facilitating the discovery and the spread of Terma teachings. More recently still, we have the example of Kyabje Dujum Rinpoche Jigdro Yeshe Dorje's daughter, Semo Dechen Yudron, and her husband, Chunyi Rinpoche. Another Teton couple who practiced and taught on an equal footing. In the Aroter tradition, our tradition, there were the Teton couple Jomo Pema Ozer and Rangrig Togden, who taught and practiced together in the late 1800s, early 1900s in Tibet. They were also the parents of Aro Lingma, the Teton treasure revealer who revealed the Aroter. As disciples of Ngak'chang Rinpoche and Khandro Dechen, we are fortunate to have the inspiration of witnessing the Vajra romance relationship of their Tsawai Lamas, Kyabje Kunzang Dorje Rinpoche and Jomo Sampel Dechen Rinpoche. We've just come from visiting Jomo Sampel Dechen Rinpoche in Kathmandu. Ngak'chang Rinpoche and Khandro Dechen are the incarnations of the Teton couple Aro Yeshe and Aye Khandro, and they are the current lineage holders of the Aroter, which contains a profound teaching on Vajra romance called the Khandro Pao Nidam Melongyu. They first wrote about this practice in a published article called Cutting Through Spiritual Chauvinism in 1987. They wrote the book Entering the Heart of the Sun and Moon in 2009, but until the recent work of Jacobi and Gailey, there were no other available works which addressed romance in Vajrayana. Khandro Pao Nida Melongyu means the mirror reflecting the sun and moon of the Khandros and Paos, or of the inner nature of women and men. The main feature of the Aroter is that it presents all Buddhist teachings from the perspective of Dzogchen. Karma mudra is usually presented as Tantric practice, but in the Aroter Khandro Pao teachings, the emphasis is on the Dzogchen Menakde method of viewing one's lover as Buddha. Menakde being the Dzogchen series of implicit instruction. One of the 14 Vajrayana root vows includes an injunction relating to the positive way in which the other gender must be regarded. It proposes, in fact, a gender-specific view of relating with phenomenal reality. For men, the gender of the universe, the gender experience of the universe, rather, is female. For women, the gender experience of the universe is male. The primary gender difference lies in the reversal of the outer and inner qualities of being. Women have outer Khandro wisdom qualities and wisdom display, and inner power compassion qualities. Men have outer power compassion qualities, method display, and inner Khandro wisdom qualities. When men and women realize these qualities, their energies mirror each other. Khandro means sky dancer, at home in the fluid play of chaos, uninhibited by the need to concretize or define. She expresses the inexpressible through whimsy, the non-rational and the unexpected. Pao means hero or warrior, and signifies the pure appropriateness that has no need for the illusion of firm ground. He is fearless because the birth and death of every mind moment are fully experienced. This enables him to live in the totality of the present moment. Men, this is important, this sentence, men and women, as non-dual beings, are endowed with the capacity to display exactly the same activities as each other. There is no difference between them, beyond that which is obviously biological. Men and women as dualized beings, however, experience differing capacities which are incomplete in both. The incompleteness of men and women's dualistic capacities is due to their loss of contact with their inner unmanifested qualities. When a man loses contact with his inner Khandro quality, his outer quality becomes distorted. What should be spontaneously manifested compassion becomes neurotic assertiveness. This assertiveness ranges from dominance to violence, depending to what extent his inner Khandro has become occluded. When a woman loses contact with her inner Pao quality, her outer quality becomes distorted. What should be spontaneously manifested wisdom becomes decorativeness. This decorativeness ranges from inconsequentiality to superficial obsession with surface appearance, depending to what extent her inner power has become occluded. Women are attracted to the distorted male image because they seek to reconnect with power. Women have a natural relationship with power, but if they fail to realize it, they become drawn to seeking it externally. Women, however, are also attracted to men through recognizing the reflection of their own inner power. Both occur simultaneously. Men are attracted to the distorted female image because they seek to reconnect with spatial sensitivity. Men have a natural relationship with spatial sensitivity, but if they fail to realize it, they become drawn to seeking it externally. Men, however, are also attracted to women through recognizing the reflection of their own inner Khandro. Both happen to both, simultaneously. Duality and non-duality flicker. If we already have the connection with our inner Pao or inner Khandro, we no longer need to find anything outside ourselves. At this point, men and women begin to dance with each other. Something becomes apparent that dissipates unrequitable gender needs. Once gender neediness dissolves into its natural condition, a tremendous mutual appreciation arises. Appreciation arises because men and women catch glimpses of completeness in themselves. No matter how distanced people are from their inner qualities, non-dual nature continually sparkles through. The intensity of sparkling depends on the degree to which there is cooperation with the sparkling, or to what extent it is resisted. Men and women who enter into this reality relate with each other through appreciating the dance of inner and outer qualities. When we waken to the nature of inner qualities, we begin to mirror each other. We begin to undermine each other's conditioning rather than entrenching each other in dualistic patterning. Khandro power reflection animates Vajra romance. It occurs when women and men see within each other the reflection of innate non-duality. In terms of Dzogchen, both partners are beginninglessly non-dual. Although they may access non-duality to different degrees, practitioners prioritize the non-dual state in how they view each other. The Vajra romance practices within the Khandro Power Nida Melongyu also contain practices of viewing the lover as Yidam and the lover as Lama. For couples with the view of Power and Khandro and who are immersed in the practice of Yidam, the possibility of experiencing each other in a Yidam context has electrifying significance. In the practice of lover as Lama, lovers do not replace the root Lama, as they do not actively teach or give instruction. We need to remember that one. The teaching offered by lovers is either spontaneously discovered or assiduously sought out. It is found in the mere presence of the lover as spatial physio-emotional display. From the point of view of the Nida Melong, if lovers set out to teach each other, all they would offer would be dualistic conditioning. It is only the inadvertent teaching which is of value. It is Vajra romance which makes this teaching accessible. If a couple were not in love, they would have no interest in accessing teaching in such a manner. The Khandro Power Nida Melongyu not only contains these Menakde practices of view, but also communicates the energetic interactions of lovers according to Dzogchen long day practices of the energy of the subtle body. The Arote Tanka shown here depicts Sapawo and Khandro engaged in Dzogchen long day practice. These practices often employ gomtags, meditation belts, to maintain specific postures. Here, the Pawo and Khandro are linked in their posture by a single gomtag, which is specific to the Khandro Power Nida Melongyu. The gomtag is red, white, and blue, the colours of the solar, lunar, and central channels. The Khandro and Pawo are shown wearing the white skirts, the shamtab, of the Ngak'chang Lode, and the white spiral conch earrings and skull-surmounted takdrols of the Mahasiddha tradition. They gaze not at each other, but at their empty reflections as displayed in the wisdom mirror, Yeshe Melong, held by the other. The Melongs are emblazoned with reality flags which depict the vivid interplay of the elements. Streams of rainbow radiance emanate from each of their three major korlos. The rainbows terminate in tigles, symbols of the essence of the elements, which contain the seed syllables of mind, eminent energy, and corporeality. The landscape in which the couple sit is an alpine meadow, and the sky is iridescent with tigles. The practice depicted is one in which the Khandro and Pawo integrate with the energy of their inner wisdom and inner method natures through physical proximity, whilst their awareness rests in the empty space of the mirror. There is more to the practice than described here, but it requires transmission and more detailed instruction. There is much more to convey concerning Vajra romance. The interactions between romantic partners through the display of the elements, for example, the phenomena of nyams and zapnyams, and of tralame, poetic turbulence. Also, twilight language and the 9 aspects of the Khandro's integrity and the 9 aspects of the Pawo's honour. There is a book that has much greater detail. This is written by Ngak'chang. This is the book that was written and published in 2009. It's called Entering the Heart of the Sun and Moon. There's a new edition of it being released, my new word, this year in 2018. Because it's not released yet, we have actually brought with us 200 small pamphlets that contain extracts from the new book. So if you're interested in these Khandro power teachings, then please do take one of these pamphlets. There's only 200, so first come, first served.
We have just one minute.
Brilliant. I've almost finished, Tashi Zamos. That's perfect. Thank you. So, in conclusion, I'd say falling in love is a spiritual experience if it is recognized as such. If the reflection of inequalities can be apprehended before the relationship begins to concretize, then falling in love is the most remarkable opportunity life has to offer. Vajra romance enables men and women to transcend restrictive stereotypes, facilitating personal transformation and prompting societal well-being. Vajra romance primarily leads to non-dual realization, but respect and appreciation are stimulated in the process. Appreciation arises because people catch glimpses of completeness and begin to relate to each other authentically. No matter how distanced we are from our inner qualities, our non-dual nature continually sparkles through. The frequency of sparkling depends on how much we cooperate with that sparkling or how much we resist it. The nature of this cooperation is Ngak'chang practice of Vajrayana. Thank you.